I love everything Charlotte's doing. They put it together when they needed to put it together. They had a group of talented guys. They got Coby White. They continue the way they plan. They're going to be able to be very dangerous to any team on the East that match up with them. Charlotte has definitely shown that LaMelo Ball can be a leader. He ain't playing circus ball like he used to, but I think when he got benched, that kind of woke him up.
They have been playing better. Yes, they are one of the hottest teams in the NBA. But currently, they're still in the play-in game. Until they get to a definite play-off spot, then we can talk.
Do you believe that?
That is a great debate. The Hornets have been a tale of two teams all season long. One moment they're crushing teams, and the other moment they look small compared to their opponents. One thing is clear though, they're going to have to win 2 play-in games this season in order to make the NBA playoffs. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about LaMelo Ball helping the Hornets reach the play-in tournament. The Hornets won the most amount of games in their franchise history since 2016 as they went 44-38 on the year. In fact, the Hornets are now the 9th seed as they will be playing against the Miami Heat in the first play-in game. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Will the Hornets win 2 play-in games to make the NBA playoffs this season? I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes. Am I overly confident the Hornets are going to win 2 play-in games in order to get the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference? Not really. But as a Hornets fan, I feel like I cannot say any other answer than yes. I'm going to say that the Charlotte Hornets will beat both the Miami Heat and the loser of the Philadelphia 76ers Orlando Magic matchup. Why do I say that? Because I am going to say that the Charlotte Hornets are going to beat the Miami Heat. Am I overly confident that it's going to happen? No, but I also understand that the Charlotte Hornets have been playing really good basketball for the last 3 months of the year. I know that they kind of fell off a little bit in April, but for the most part, they played really productive basketball. They were able to shoot the 3 ball at an elite level. You look at the top 2 3-point shooters in the NBA, they were both on the Charlotte Hornets. Knueppel led the entire NBA in threes. You also think about how LaMelo Ball was just 1 3 behind Knueppel for being the league leader in 3-point makes. So obviously the Charlotte Hornets, they know how to make threes at a high level. They also know how to get offensive rebounds at a high level. Moussa Diabate has been one of the best players in the NBA when it comes to getting offensive rebounds. However, my issues with the Charlotte Hornets is that they're not great in a lot of other categories. They're not particularly great at getting steals. They're not great at making mid-range shots. They don't really have a lot of isolation-based players that can go get a bucket on their own. Their strategy is just chuck up threes and drive to the paint as much as possible. And although that is an effective strategy to a point, there are also various ways you have to break down a defense the deeper you get into the NBA playoffs. I know that this is only the play-in tournament we were talking about, but the play-in tournament is basically a version of the NBA playoffs before the actual NBA playoffs begin. And I also think about how the Miami Heat have a lot more experience than the Charlotte Hornets. Even though I think the Hornets are going to beat the Heat purely off of talent, I don't necessarily feel that confident the Miami Heat are going to lose to the Charlotte Hornets in the first place. There's a reason why Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the NBA. There's a reason why Bam Adebayo has been a matchup nightmare for the Charlotte Hornets. I also think about if you're the Miami Heat, if you play 2 bigs in the starting lineup, that's going to be a huge problem for the Charlotte Hornets because they're not going to be able to rebound the basketball at a high level. If you let those guys get hot from 3, that's going to be problematic as well. I think ultimately the Hornets are going to beat the Heat solely off of talent, but I can't say I'm overly confident. And once the Hornets win their first play-in game, well, who knows what's going to happen in the second play-in game. I also want to show you guys this clip of Charles Barkley guaranteeing the Hornets would make the play-in tournament. Ultimately, Charles Barkley was proven correct, which is something that you do not say too often. I don't really take Charles Barkley seriously, but when he's right, I gotta give him his credit. Obviously, Charles Barkley was correct about the Hornets making a play-in appearance. Everybody clowned on Charles Barkley at the time for saying that statement, but guess what? Charles Barkley was absolutely right for saying that. Roll the film.
The Hornets gonna make the playoffs.
Oh, come on, man.
They're gonna make the play-in.
Don't make me write that down.
Hey, write it down on your little paper.
Are you gonna guarantee it?
The Hornets are making the play-in.
Guarantee it. They're making
Guaranteed.
the play-in. Hornets are making the play-in. All right.
The drop on his head.
He lost his base. Say that again.
The Hornets are gonna be in the play-in.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
You are correct, sir. Yes.
Indeed, Charles Barkley was proven correct. The Charlotte Hornets are participating in the play-in tournament now, and I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to say the Charlotte Hornets are going to make the NBA playoffs straight up. They're going to beat the Miami Heat in a close game. I know a lot of people are confident in the Charlotte Hornets right now. I'm not that confident in the Hornets, but as a Hornets fan, I can't pick against my Charlotte Hornets in terms of them losing in the first play-in game. I think they're going to beat the Miami Heat. I'm going to choose my heart over my head. My heart says that the Hornets are going to come out of that game victorious, even though my head is screaming, go ahead and pick Miami to beat Charlotte. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to pick Charlotte to beat Miami because I know Charlotte is the more talented team. I'm just worried about the fact that coaching experience is going to completely overwhelm Charles Lee in the first play-in tournament game that he has been a part of. Obviously, Eric Spoelstra has had a lot of experience being in play-in tournaments. Eric Spoelstra has probably been in too many of them, but that's another discussion for another day. I also think about how the Charlotte Hornets are going to have an easier time in the second play-in game against the loser of the Magic 76ers game. I think the 76ers are going to beat the Orlando Magic. Thus, it's going to be the Magic versus the winner of the 10-9 seed matchup, which means it's going to be the Hornets. If it's the Magic versus the Hornets, I actually believe the Charlotte Hornets are going to come out victorious against the Orlando Magic. The Hornets were 3-1 against the Magic this year. They were able to score the basketball effectively against them. They actually matched up really well against them. They shot the 3-ball effectively. They actually blew out the Orlando Magic the last time they played against the Magic. So I actually think the Charlotte Hornets are going to be in good position if they get past the Miami Heat. I think the Miami Heat game is going to be the hardest game for the Charlotte Hornets in terms of how their play-in tournament is going to work out. I think ultimately though, they're going to get the 8 seed. They're going to get into the NBA playoffs. They're going to play against the Detroit Pistons in round 1. I know LaMelo Ball is 0-2 in his career in terms of play-in games, but I think a first time for everything is going to be inevitable. This is going to be one of those instances. I believe LaMelo Ball is going to play better than he did during his first 2 play-in games this year. I believe LaMelo Ball is going to step up his game. He's a much more seasoned point guard. I told you guys back in February, LaMelo Ball was a top 6 point guard in the NBA. I still stand on that take. I believe LaMelo Ball has what it takes to get the Charlotte Hornets to get past the Miami Heat in the first play-in game. And I think if he does that, he's going to be able to get his Hornets past whoever is going to lose the Magic 76ers game. And if you win 2 play-in games this year, that means you make the NBA playoffs. I believe in the Charlotte Hornets. I'm a little nervous about the Hornets' first play-in game, but if they can get past that stage, then there's no reason for me to expect the Charlotte Hornets not to make the NBA playoffs. I'm confident they're going to get in. They just got to take care of business. It's all about the Hornets at the end of the day. Can they execute their game plan properly? If they do, then they will definitely make the NBA playoffs this year. And if they make the NBA playoffs this year, then I'm going to be a very happy fan in the city of Charlotte. I'm already a huge Hornets fan, so if I see the Hornets go ahead and achieve success in the play-in tournament, I'm going to be super fired up. So that is why the Hornets will win 2 play-in games to make the NBA playoffs this season, as the Hornets will beat the Heat and the loser of the Magic 76ers game in the play-in tournament. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinStran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinStran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinStran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.